New Chainlink red, and this one starts sideways. Time runs down the frame, price runs across it, and every closed week is here. Read it like a page. The line pushes far to the right once, 5 years back, and that reach is the record at 53. Today, the line sits near the left margin, 83.7% short of it. 1 week here reads a low of 1/100th of a cent. No market printed that, so the bar is clipped at the marker and dropped from every extreme, and the honest floor of the whole record becomes 35 cents. The shaded band at the bottom is the last 52 weeks. Watch it swing up right now. The same points and the same prices, turned back the way a chart normally reads. 1 year of daily bars. The ceiling is 27.87 and the floor is 7, and the last close sits under 8% of the way up that height. Both extremes are ordinary wicks, 4 and 5% past their own bodies. That matters because a wick can move the answer. On bodies alone, the price sits at 7.4% instead of 7.9, so the reading holds either way. One session is flagged 2, a cascade down to 790, and it is real. 4 other pairs fell in the same hours. Now the slice again. The 1,000 hours this red lives in cover about 42 of those days, and floor to ceiling. That whole window is under 9% of the year. Everything left to say happens inside that ribbon. Here is the hourly frame. The last finished hour closed 8.65 and the row under it is still forming at 8.59, which for once understates the market. So recompute on finished candles only. Change over a day 4.5%, not the 3 4/10 the file carries. Strength 75.5 against 65 in the same file. 10 points, and the true number is the higher one. The previous reading anchored on an unfinished hour too, and it settled at 8.22. 30 hours have closed since. In those 30, the low is 8.2, 2 cents under that anchor, and the high is 8.72, half a dollar over it. Overhead was this line, 8.46, a real high from over 8 days back and not a drawn guess. The last video counted no closes above it and not 1 hour that even traded there. Here is what that silence was worth. 264 hours separate the last print above that line from the next one. 11 days to the hour, and that is the longest such gap in the file. Second place is 75 hours. Say the fair version of it though. The line was never untested. 189 of the 999 finished hours traded above it at some point. The story is not that price found somewhere new, the story is how long it stayed away, then came back in one session. The break is narrow, and it has not been given back. 7 of the 30 hours closed above the line, 9 traded through it, and those 7 are the last 7 in a row. The rungs below answer the same way, 13, 18, 25, 30 of 30. That reads like a straight advance, so now measure whether it was one. 2 curves climb here, both built from the same 30 closes, and both start together at the anchor hour. The climbing one is the distance covered. Every hourly move added up, regardless of direction. The other is the distance gained. 16 hours finished higher and 14 lower, so the second keeps stalling while the first cannot. By the last hour, the gap is the whole point. Gained, 43 cents. Covered, 88. Efficiency, 49.1%, so the move spent slightly more than half its motion undoing itself. That is how 75.5 looks from underneath. This frame disagrees with itself. The close beats 953 of the file's 999 hours and 83 of the year's 364 days. High on one clock, low on the next. So, a ceiling untouched for 11 days, taken and held for 7 hours, with half the travel wasted getting there and a year that still calls this cheap. Above 8.46 the reclaim stands. Under it the whole ladder comes back into play. Educational analysis, never advice. Subscribe for tomorrow's audit of today's call, leave a like if the discipline showed, and send this to a friend who watches these levels.